Hey, what's up? This is a fun video. Actually, this video is designed for the urban explorers or people of Cleveland that know about the rubber duck factory. That's right. It's a big thing in the urban explorers, the rubber duck factory. Now, this factory never made ducks, but they happen to have in one of the storage facilities, they had a box of, I believe, 5 or 10,000 rubber ducks. And these are the ducks that you'd pay $1 for or $5 for, and they throw it in a river, and the ducks would go down a river, and the winner would make all the money. Well, they stored them here, and these ducks went all over, and so people call this place the Rubber Duck Factory. And we'll just take a quick tour of it. It was abandoned. Oh, it's gone. It burned down. So don't look for it. Okay, the Rubber Duck Factory is gone. It burnt down. And this is what it looked like, because I know some of you people, heard about the Rubber Duck Factory. This is what it looked like after it was abandoned. It was basically Woodhill Supply, and it was a supply company, and they had a couple other stores where they would supply hardware type things like toilets and things like that. And I don't know who they supplied them to, but there was a big company in Cleveland, and it's still around. What's really cool is, this place actually had a fire. It's probably how it all started, and then it was just too expensive to fix, and then it kind of, got abandoned, right? For the kids, us kids, to play in. This is a playground for adults. This is an adult playground or an urban explorer's playground. This is what we do. You guys wonder what we do. We love going to abandoned places all over the place, and this is what we like doing. It's just really cool. Got to be careful. We love the graffiti, and you can read it. And I have a lot of cool graffiti I've been collecting from this place and other places. I'm gonna show you the rubber ducks here in a second. The rubber ducks, pretty exciting. And so, obviously, I'm a dummy, and I climb up to upper levels, and I go into there's like a little underground. And look at that. The beam's going to collapse. Okay. So, probably snow loads. When there's fires, it gets weak. So you better look at things like that. Don't be walking on too much stuff if you don't know what's below it. And here's our fruities. And there's some cool stuff. And a lot of these taggers, they have a tag, and they'll do this all over the place. Some guys will put on trains. Sometimes they'll jump trains, or they'll travel to cities. And so these taggers, that's a whole subculture. These guys know each other, and they try to shut the taggers down during the Republican convention up here in Cleveland, and a bunch of them got locked up, jailed during that convention. But this is their form of art. And sometimes it's, when you go to these places, you run into these guys, and most of the time they run. You see a guy like me, some old guy, with a leather coat to the ground. They're spooked. Like, who is this guy? He's not a cop. He's some weird dude that's gonna cut my head off, or whatever. But so sometimes you're lucky and you see him. Most of the time you don't see anybody. I don't, because I scare people. I guess you're big, you're making noise walking through. They don't want a confrontation at all. And the bums that are in there too, they run. Okay. So here's pretty cool graffiti. Let's move it up a little bit there. And there's our first duck. That's what these look like. All right, there's more. Kind of crazy looking graffiti here. That's nice. There was a lot of barrels. You want to be careful with barrels. Make sure that you clean your shoes before you get in your car, because you have no idea what you walked on. And here we go. We're starting to see more of the rubber ducks. Now, I collected a bunch of these, and I had this thing about 6 years ago to place these things and all over the country. So when I visited places, I'd bring a rubber duck with me, and I would leave it there. So if you see these rubber ducks around the country in abandoned places, if they're still up, is mine. I'm the one who put them up. I know there's a few in Juliet Prison. There's a bunch in Arizona. I went out west to some munitions places, and I stuck them in there. So I got them all over. I'm down to 3 ducks, so I only have 3 left. So if anybody has a couple ducks they want to give me, hey, I'm sure some of you urban explorers got a box of them. I'll take a few off your hands. Here you go. There's all the little duckies all over the floor. See them, little rubber ducks. We'll get a close up and see what they look like. That way, when you see one, you can see the way they're painted. You'll know it's from this batch. They're all the ducks you see are different. They don't all look like this. All right, and just more photos. And they must have cleaned this place out because the company's still around, so they probably removed their stuff. It's my buddy, Jono, photographer, big photographer in Cleveland. Now, I crawled down in there. That's nice stuff. Crawl underneath the basement, and you had to duck your head. It wasn't that high. And a few rooms here and there. There's more. I'm actually in the basement now. And you can see a bunch of ducks just piled up in the garbage. The rubber ducks. And mold, moisture. You can see mushrooms. You see mushrooms growing on wood. You know, you got a problem with moisture, right? And then they had all these. That was kind of weird. Look like yogurt containers. They're all over the place. So this was the rubber duck factory in Cleveland. And we'll leave it right there. You can see how their eyes. Let me see if we could zoom in on it. Get close up of the rubber duck. Let's see here. There it is. There you go. So if you see one of those ducks, they're white with a little bit of, it came from Rubber Duck Factory. It came from, this is a bottom of Cleveland Heights, off of Euclid Avenue. It's not there anymore. So hey, thanks for coming on. This is Marco in the Rubber Duck Factory. Oh, by the way, I do have a service for if you're, watching my other videos and you have house problems. You just Google "call Marco with a question," MARKO. Call Marco with a question. It'll prompt you to a PayPal site. Sometimes if you have McAfee, it may say this is a bad site. It's not. It'll prompt you to pay $29 and 15-20 minutes. You could even once you get my you should give my email clevelandmold@aol.com. You could send me a bunch of pictures. That way I could pre-look at the photos and we could discuss your house problem. Generally, I'll solve problems most people can't. So call me with that crazy thing, odor, moisture, split joist, whatever. I've been doing this for 40 years, full time, 18,000 inspections, had a lot of licenses. I'm an engineer. So also down below, I have some products. I'm an Amazon affiliate. I know that's bad, but Amazon does let people like me sell stuff. We don't make a lot, but buy stuff from down there, and I usually try to provide, whatever. I'm not going to have rubber ducks in there because I only got 3 left, so I won't be selling those. But other products that may relate to the video down, and then also rate, subscribe, and then there's a bell. Hit the bell, and you'll get more of my videos. Mostly wintertime, I'm doing home inspection videos. I'm throwing these in just because I'm throwing a few in. Summertime, I don't do as much. I'm an urban gardener. I have a lot of gardens, and I do farmers markets, so I'm big on that. There'll be a few videos on that. And then next winter, I'll travel across the country again for a couple months and do a bunch of herbal exploring. So, hey, hang out. Thanks for coming on. Rate, subscribe, and like, and then hey, you got a house problem, your friend has a house problem, Google, call Marco with a question. Thanks.